Hey guys, it's me again. I just came from church, and this is something that I just listened to Greg Braden in my car after church and just put a bunch of things together that I wanted to share. And it may not make sense. This weaves together faith, science, inspiration, maybe woo. I came out of church. The sermon was about worry and how worry, God doesn't want us to worry. Philippians 4:6. You want to look that up, and I'll have to scroll back to repeat it back to you. But basically, it's about praying instead of worrying. And it really connected with me. And before I went to church, I was listening to Greg Braden, and he was talking about science. And I love him. I haven't listened to him in a while, but I really liked what he was talking about. And he just happened to be speaking about the observer effect. And so when I got into my car, I started listening again. And in the sermon, the worry part was also about how worry medically, it can affect your body. It can give all the side effects are negative. So the time that we spend worrying instead of praying, which has really positive effects because it can build our hope, but it does all kinds of positive things to our body. And there have been many studies about how prayer, like meditation, can lower your blood pressure, increase hope. It can reduce anxiety, depression, help you sleep better, all those things, right? So even if you don't believe in, well, whatever your religious beliefs are, it can help you. So talking about worry in the service was about, like, there's no positive side to it, even though for us as humans, we think, oh, well, if I worry, at least I'm doing something about whatever the situation is. So was thinking about that. And then when I got into my car, I was listening to Greg Braden. And Greg is a geologist by training, but also has a TV show called Missing Links, which you can find on YouTube. He's also quite spiritual and has traveled the world interviewing all different types of ancient religions and religious sites. So he started talking about DNA, our DNA. And what he was getting at, the gist of it, were two things that overlapped with the sermon. One was the DNA talk was about how we influence our surroundings. And it's the observer effect, we'll call it that. Basically, if you're doing a scientific study, if there's a camera or human involved in that experiment, then the results change. And they're saying the results can change based on the expectations of the observer. And so what he was trying to say was that they did a study about DNA, right? And how humans can impact DNA. What would happen if you put a human near DNA? So not our own DNA, another person's DNA. And what they found is that if the human near this DNA being studied was angry, uptight, or stressed, the DNA would constrict and tighten, which is really bad for your health, right? It's not a positive thing. If the person was happy and relaxed and calm and, mostly positive, the DNA would begin to uncoil and be more relaxed and loose, which is what we want in our bodies too, because that creates all kinds of positive things in terms of our health. It gets things flowing and moving along our bodies. We want our DNA, if we're healthy, to be loose. And I just thought, oh, that's really interesting. So the worry that we have that was talked about in church really does have an impact on our bodies. And this observer effect, as I listened to him, realized, like, wow, I've been in this space personally. I think I'm, lucky to have kind of a silver lining orientation. So no matter what kind of crap hits the fan, I usually think I can get through it, and I usually look for the positive. But recently I've noticed, I'm like, wow, I'm so focused on worry and fear because I have a lot of serious things happening in my life. And I've been thinking about how do I shift out of that? I don't want to say don't care, but get to a point where I can be more neutral about it, because I definitely know that worry creates lack of sleep and depression and all this stuff. So what I was thinking was, listening to this was like, and I've known this as an entrepreneur, they also tell you what you focus on expands, what you track grows. So I've had coaches and books and podcasts tell me, if you want to see your social media grow, start tracking. And when I've tracked it, it does grow. So you literally have a spreadsheet and you check it, every end of the week or something, and you keep looking at it, you write it down, whatever. The same goes for your bank, your income, your clients. Same thing can go for if you're trying to lose weight or have a certain number of steps every day or the days that you work out. Like the more you focus on those things, typically the more they improve or grow. And so I just had this epiphany. I was like, okay, that I was talking about, it's the new year. So I was talking about journaling and vision boards. And I haven't done vision boards in a long time. And I sent something to one of my friends about a way to get back into doing vision boards that doesn't seem super woo or over the top. Like we can look at our past and map it out. Like, what did we do this year? And we can really focus on the things that are positive and negative before we jump into a vision board where it seems like everything's pie in the sky and kind of doesn't really resonate with us, especially if we had a really tough year. So when I was talking to her, I was like, I haven't even done a vision board in so long. Like last time I did one, it was everything changed so quickly on that vision board, and some of it not in a good way. Like it matched the board, but it turned out to be not a good thing. So I'm really been really careful about vision boards. I know it sounds kind of weird. So clearly I think they work. But anyway, so what I realized is that I have these things in my life that I can shift my focus from the fear to, of course it's going to work out, to what I want it to look like when it works out. Right. And so, what are the things in your life that maybe you're so focused on worry, whether it's your money, job, relationship, health, any of those things? But instead, if you put together your own vision board or journal or reminders or set up a tracker where I can stay motivated that it can move in the right direction. And that is really powerful. This is not woo. This is scientific, this Greg Braden thing. And I'll try to find the studies and put them in the notes. I think that would be really helpful for skeptics. I know it's easy to be skeptical, but there is research that shows that these things that you track and focus on will improve. And so let's assume that's true. What are the things that you, instead of burying your head in the sand and being like, I don't want to deal with it, which I've done that. Absolutely have done that to cope. But what if you turn it around and go, no, I'm going to face it head on. This is the outcome that I want. This is the outcome that I expect. And let yourself feel the joy of that actual outcome. And every day, maybe you have a visual cue, a reminder, a tracker, whatever, journal, something. Even if it's just something on your phone, like a picture, a couple of bullet points, for everybody's different. What works for me might be different for you. Whatever seems easy, seems like you'll do, start doing it. And for me, I know it means I need to change. I need to change who I am mentally and reframe and go, I don't want to say back to who I was, but forward to a version of me that knows this to be true, that knows that I can have goals and a vision for myself and work toward it and it can happen instead of feeling defeated, negative things happening. Like there's plenty of positive things too. So from church to science to what some people would call woo, all of this points to the fact that we are not just observers, we are actually participants. And that's what Greg Braden said in this video. And I'll put the link in here because he's awesome. We are participants in this world. And this is the thing that he was talking about. Oh gosh, I'm going to forget his name. Really famous scientist with the crazy hair. Einstein, before he died, he was doing research, and there was another scientist doing the same research, and they came up with very different results. And this is what Greg Braden said, is that Einstein came away from it with a concept that we are separate from the universe, energy, etc. And that, like, he couldn't accept this idea of spooky. It's called spooky magic at a distance, and that is basically that two things that were connected energetically could impact each other even when they're separated. They could feel the same thing at the same time. So it's that example of the mother whose son is in the middle of war, and he's, facing bombing or something, and she just feels it. She's in the kitchen cleaning. Her son, who's overseas, is facing, something related to death. She just knows instantaneously, stops, prays, thinks of her son, whatever, and then hears, days, week later, that on that same day at that same time, he was facing death and then suddenly felt okay or something because she was praying. Like, this is the spooky magic at a distance thing that Einstein really grappled with. And then this other scientist, which I can't remember his name, he just recently died. He's in the video, so I'll try to put his name in here. He was the opposite. He felt like we are not just observers. We're not on the other side of the glass, this like 6-inch pane of glass where it's like, here we are, here's the universe out here. No, we have to shatter the glass. We are active participants in it, and we are part of it. And so when you've heard people say in the past, co-creators, we're co-creators in this world. That's really true. We are creating our reality by what we choose to focus on, think about, speak about, and how we frame our whole world. So that's really powerful, especially if you feel like you've been marginalized in some way or things haven't been great for you. You still have that power. Even if nothing around you feels like it, you still have that power. And there's nothing to lose. What if all of this is true? Science, whatever you believe, not just religion or woo or something that challenges your belief and puts you in a place of doubt. Whichever of these things is easiest for you to latch onto it and say, okay, we're in a new year, new chapter, new way of doing things. Why not pick up a piece of paper, write down what you want from any circumstance that's creating worry, stress, strain, and write out what you want and keep focusing on what you want. And then say to yourself, of course this can happen to me. Why not me? Why not? Like, there's nothing different between you and whoever else has the thing that you want, the circumstances that you want. We are all created equal, and we are all connected through that invisible stuff that we can't see. And so, anyway, that's my message to you. I'm going to write down the things that I want. I'm going to create a vision board. I'm going to do all the things I've done in the past that have worked and pull myself back onto a path that's more optimistic. And I'll let you know. I'll keep checking in with you about the things that I've created, that I'm working on, both mentally and physically, and how it's going. And I would love to hear from you in the comments. What are the things that you want for yourself, that worry you, that you're ready to turn it around, and you would like to be a proactive creator, participant in your life and make it happen? Share it in the comments, and let's hold the vision for each other. We can encourage each other, even in the comments here. It's really powerful to say, you know what, I see that for you. You want that new job that's $140,000 a year? You're going to get it. I see that for you. You want that new SUV so you can drive your kids around safely in the snow and not worry about it? I see that for you. It's going to happen. Or you want that new home, or you want an excellent bill of health. Whatever those things are, let's help each other. Even if it's just in the comments, that's still community. We all need it. We all need encouragement. So let's encourage each other. Let's hold the vision for each other and see, even for strangers, we can see that these things are true. And let's report back and see what happens. Okay? I'm rooting for you and sending you lots of love in 2026.